Everyone, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Inside Now. Yes, we do not have an opening for this particular last minute test of a new streaming service that we have right here on Pro Wrestling Inside Out. And we hope that I hope everything's coming out all right, because we don't know. This is our first time doing this, Rodney. Right now,
we have some. I saw we have some people coming in. Go ahead, bro.
So we do have people coming in.
Let me see. I hold on. Let me see who it might be. It may tell me who it is. No, it does not tell me who it is.
Well, there we go. But we are a brand new streaming service called Streamlabs, and we'll tell everybody more about that in the weeks to come, so you know exactly where we're doing this particular program. But it is a last minute thing that we're doing and trying a new stream service. Seems pretty good right now, don't you think so, Rodney?
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Right now, we are going live on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, our Facebook, my personal Facebook page, and YouTube. So we've got like 6 places here that we're going live and talking about professional wrestling. As everyone probably has realized by now, if you've been watching Pro Wrestling Inside and Out, we did get demonetized on YouTube, and that wasn't not long ago. The Facebook demonetized us, so we're going to be doing some special things for people in the future, because Rodney, as you know, we have gotten in trouble for using a video. We've even gotten in trouble for using photographs on occasion during some problems. So we're going to Robert Grice is on YouTube, and he says, hello, professors. Hello to you, Robert Grice. Robert, everything coming out all right? Everything looking all right on your end? I hope it's looking all right for you. We actually have 2 ways to stream on Streamlabs, and we're going to do it this particular way. And then maybe Monday we'll do another test on another type of program that we can do. But as you know, we have been monetized, so we're going to work on some stuff that we could actually do videos and show videos and give the history of professional wrestling the way it needs to be. Play some videos and talk about what went on during the times, especially Georgia Championship Wrestling. Since our father, Ron West, was there for over 11 years, we have a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that we can talk about while we're going through all of that. And we don't want to get in trouble for it, as we've been continuously getting, censored and all that kind of stuff. So, but we are going to be on Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube every.
And our goal, of course, is to offend each and every one of those platforms. And I have all the confidence that we will be able to do.
Well, we've already made a couple of them mad, I guess, or somebody mad at us for whatever reason. So,
there's some people, and I'm not going to go into names because their wife will get upset and start trying to sue us and stuff. That do not believe that we should have an opinion of anything, that we should be talking about anything. Got some news for them. We're going to talk about it anyway.
That's
Sorry about that. We're going to talk about it anyway. So.
It's the history of professional wrestling, and it was not always, Rodney, and we know this for a fact. It was not always rosy, even the territory days. It was not all rosy and great. So
there was a lot. There was ups and downs in anything, for sure. No matter what they say, it was never continuous. You always had, peaks and valleys. There was always, and it always come, and if you'll always notice, it always come with a big angle. We can go through a few of the angles that really sparked the territory. For instance, Dusty Rhodes jumped in the parking lot in Atlanta, Georgia, sparked it, went from 78 nonstop all the way up to 79. Georgia was on fire. Of course, at the same time, you had the Superstar in Wrestling too, but that place was on fire. You think about the Bob Armstrong turning against Ron Fuller in the match with Ric Flair. Look, that went for what, 2 years,
Yeah.
and then they switched it with another big angle, which they don't do anymore. That is something that is gone. There is no big angle like that like they do. They don't do that today at all. That is not anywhere in their thought process at all. They must telegraph every single thing they do, and it worked. Like I said, the Ron Fuller Bob Armstrong worked twice. Either way, worked, was absolutely perfect. Ole and the situation with the parking lot worked in Atlanta. I mean, over and over again. Say Greg Valentine breaking Wall McDaniel's leg in the Carolinas. There's Terry Funk coming out of the audience and costing Dusty Rhodes the World Heavyweight Championship. Look how many territories use that.
Yes.
So and those are just lost. That's the lost start. They're just simply not building. They're not booking that way. They simply want to telegraph everything. I just read a story right as we're coming on that's already predicting the end of Roman Reigns. Now, how many times have we heard that one? How many times? Honestly, your number one star, and they're going to bring it to an end. Certainly, people, wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Even without the championship, he is still going to be the biggest star there. There's no doubt about it.
You know, when you look at professional wrestling, you look at even AEW. I've noticed their ratings did go up a little bit, even on their But as we have found out, our great friend Dave Meltzer, he has talked about what we've talked about now for a good 6 months, where we talked about that what's going to happen. People are dropping cable left and right. When you start looking at how much food costs these days, what are they going to drop? They're going to drop their cable. It's going to be the first thing they drop. And you're going to be seeing a lot of people sitting outside talking to each other and watching pro wrestling inside and out on their internet.
Sure.
And on their
Absolutely.
phone.
Absolutely. I saw a gentleman talking about the entertainment industry as a whole going through an its end of days. It's going to have to adapt and change, and sometimes sometimes things go away. I think that you're right about the situation with all the streaming services. People, by the time you have all these different streaming services, it costs you as much as cable does. So now you're true. They're dropping them. They're absolutely dropping them. And as they drop those services, so will be the ratings, the people watching the show. So yeah, they may be in trouble. They may be needing to look for another outlet to distribute their show for sure.
Hey, Kenneth Roark is watching us on my personal page there.
All right.
Russell Conway is also watching on the personal page. Hey there, brothers. How you doing? Rodney Grimes is also, produces some great wrestling shows. I don't know if he's produced one in a long time. Mike Schaefer is watching us right now on the personal page. Like we say, we're on, let us know where you're at. Some of these are not coming up on our streaming service for some reason. We'll have to figure out why they're not coming on. I'm actually seeing this actually on the on my personal page.
A lot of these the comments looks like they're coming directly from looks like Facebook and YouTube for now. But I think we just started on the others, so it may take a while for sure.
Yeah, if you are on Russell Conway, Dothan, Alabama. Yes, Dothan, Alabama. Great wrestling town. If you're watching on Rumble, though, give us a shout out. Give us a chat. If you're watching on Twitter, or Twitch, which is the 3 different ones to do, and also on the personal page as well, let us know. Robert Grice said cable is. Let's see if what happens when we. I'm not even for sure. We hadn't done this yet, has it?
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Let's see. I cannot see who said that. Oh, Robert Grice. Cable is fading away. We are on Roku. Yeah,
and it could very well be that they are going to have to. I've noticed on some of these platforms, especially the free ones, Pluto, Zumo, they have their own channel that runs all the time, and that might be their out for sure, to be able to distribute the product. I've always said you need to take care, make sure that you own or control as much as your distribution of your product as possible. And they have been so dependent, all the wrestling organizations have been so dependent on other networks and their building and their infrastructure that they haven't built their own. And so now it looks like they're going to have to, if they want to survive, they're going to have to build their own for sure.
Well, the same thing the same thing would also is the same with us. We need to develop a process where everybody that's on Facebook, everybody on YouTube, Twitch, we bring them to a centralized that we can control.
Yes.
And not censored what we can and cannot do. And that's very important. And that's what we're going to be doing in the next few months. Is we will have a platform that people can go and they'll always be there. Because what I would hate, we just reached 60,000 Facebook followers. 60,000 Facebook followers, but the thing that is the big thing is 3 months. In 3 months, 8 million different Facebook accounts looked at Pro Wrestling Inside Down on Facebook. So that it's there, and we just hate to really lose those people. Jack Lord is watching this. Jack, hey, jump on here if you got the opportunity. Also, George Lambert is with us. Ben Masters. A lot of people would know Ben Masters. We did the commentary together there for maybe two weeks, and I learned then I didn't really need to be doing commentary.
No, it was fine. Lots of times, and I do it to myself as well. When I listen to myself on here, I think, well, how country? It sounds bad, but honestly, it wasn't. You did a great job. You and Ben did a great job on the shows, I thought.
Yeah, I thought Ben did a good job. But Robert Grice said Rumble should be the easiest to work with to avoid any censorship. It's amazing how we're told that we can't even use photographs. We were told that in YouTube. We were even also we basically told that on Rumble that we couldn't use photographs. So for us to be able to tell the story, we've got to get a platform where people can go, and we were able to tell that story and show photographs of Ann Gunkel and Ray Gunkel and Buddy Fuller and those people.
Let me try to clear something out. Is it the fact that if we show we're demonetized if we show pictures? Is that correct?
Yeah,
we can show them. We can show them, but we'll be demonetized if we do. Is that right?
We've been demonetized. That's just that's all. That's already happened. But the problem is what's going to happen next? Are we going to if we continue doing, are we going to get cut completely? I mean, you never know. So that's the reason.
Well, I've heard other, as I watch other YouTube channels as well, it doesn't particularly pertain to wrestling because most people who do these programs do not know what they're talking about. But I'm talking about other doing memes and stuff like that. They're saying that they are constantly being harassed and sent letters and, sent emails saying that they've offended, that we need to take this video down or this meme down or what have you because you've offended someone. And I've seen that before, and now we're seeing, I guess, the same kind of thing with just merely showing pictures. I'm not sure why it would matter because a lot of these places are just showing videos that they're picking up off of wherever. So I'm not quite sure. Maybe they're demonetized as well. I'm not sure.
Tammy Elkins Taylor, how are you doing? Thank you so much for coming on and she is watching us on.
Now, I do have some news tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I know that this is going to shock every single one of you. And I know some of you may be completely and totally disappointed, especially those who believe that it actually would happen. But the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are not going to the WWE. Now, I know some of you are very heartbroken about that so that they could reunite with Cody, but I'm sure after Cody went to them and told them, you don't want to work here. They work you too hard. Your schedule is daunting. is so upsetting. You have to be away from your family. You have to be away from your daughter and your wife too much to be on the road as much as I am. And then, of course, last week, Cody is now going to be on the NXT Great American Bash yet again. That daunting schedule grinds the man into the ground like that. I feel sorry for the man. I feel sorry for the man. He says this has to be the most pretentious man that I have ever listened to in my entire life. What in the world? Who in the world he thinks he is? I'm not sure. But now after he had his daughter, he has now changed his mind about getting to politics. He is no longer going to run for president of the United States. Now, what? Who in the world? Can you imagine the hour upon hours of speech that Cody would have to speak? Over and over again, 30 minutes later, he's been speaking. What has he said? I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about finishing the story. We don't know what that is. And then he ends up saying, I don't like that phrase anymore. I wonder why. Because you sold a bill of goods you weren't going to do in the first place. That's the point. Made a fool out of yourself. That's exactly what it was. Because he never was going to be champion. Never was going to be champion. We called that here, by the way. We called that here. Michael Barr's here. We haven't seen him in a while. But I just find him to be like I said, the most pretentious person I have ever seen. And it goes, apparently he's out. A lot of this interviews that he sound like a complete and total moron on is promoting his documentary of Cody Rhodes. And I can see a documentary of Cody Rhodes if I want to, and I can watch it every single day, all day long, by just walking into my bathroom and flushing my toilet. Because that's exactly what I would think about how interesting watching the live story of Cody Rhodes, this documentary. All the AEW, we're going to they've got him as the thumbnail for their show now because they've been featured in this documentary on the Peacock Network. How many people are on the Peacock, Brent? That's my question. Not too many. But yes, Cody, the documentary is on, and he's giving words of wisdom. I think that I don't. Vince Russo told him he needs to quit his Shakespearean interviews, promos on the TV is what he called them. Out there doing Shakespeare. He's no Dusty Rhodes, and he's not. He is a spoiled child. He would be basically what we would refer to as George Goulas. Daddy said, sell this. That's exactly how it comes over. Eventually it'll catch up. Eventually it'll catch up with him. This kind of stupid crap. By the way, they did something very different on TV that was totally just, groundbreaking on WWE when Drew McIntyre, powerbombed Gunther through the table, the announce table. Never been done before.
Jim Ross had made a comment, Rodney, and I'm trying to remember. It was something about people using like DDTs as high spots within. Here's the thing. I guarantee you, I can hear them already. I can hear those guys already. Oh, what's that, Jim Ross? No, man, he don't know nothing. He's old school, and he just don't understand. We're out there working hard, doing all them 5,000 spots. But he's true. What he's saying is true.
It's absolutely true. It's like every time someone gets let's just say, gets the crap beat out of them on TV, it always involves the steps. Now, you would think that if somebody's attacking you, just like in Memphis, don't go to the set with Lance because you're about to get beat up. No. Go run away, run to the back. You're not going to be hit with the steps. You're not going to be put through the announce table. It collapses. It's amazing. And then here, the next segment, it's back up like nothing happened to it before. It's just as silly as stuff ever. But he's absolutely right. We've taught that lesson many years ago about overdoing something. the leg slaps and all that crap. It's fine when it's once, but when you do it over and over again, it means nothing. How many times you hit with the chair? With the steps. The first time you hit people, oh, that's fantastic. But by the 30th time, people are like, well, it doesn't mean anything. And he's right. They killed off the DDT. Okay, they killed off the suplex from top rope superplex. They killed it off as well. I'm not sure what move they haven't killed off. Now
you almost have to get you a plane and just run the guy over with it.
And the first time that happens, I'm sure it's going to get over. But by the 50th time they do it, it's not going to get over.
This is
and
true.
I'm not sure why they still continue to have ring malfunctions. I mean, whoever's putting the ring up or whoever's building the ring, I would stop using them. Seriously, I would stop using them. It's ridiculous. Now, the other thing, ladies and gentlemen, LaKnight. I know that many of you are very concerned about his future in professional wrestling. And I actually, for the first time, I think, actually turned the sound on to actually see what he is saying, because I never heard his voice. And I would say that the way he talks is if, say, The Rock and Steve Austin should have a child together, this would be him. I mean, if his interview is not exactly like Steve Austin's, I'm not sitting here. I mean, instead of the hell yeah, he's doing the yeah. I mean, it's the same stuff. All they're doing is just rehashing what people have already seen. Of course, they haven't seen it in 20 years, I guess. But everybody knows what he's doing, or I would assume. But that's the first thing that I noticed when I turned the sound on, and I thought, you know what? I should have just left it off. He was better with it off.
Oh, Kirkpatrick said, and they'll kick at it too.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And the thing that gets me now, the Jungle Boy, I don't know if you know this, the Jungle Boy has turned. Okay, yeah. So I'm watching the video, and he's coming out as the big match for the FTW Championship. I don't know what that stands for, but the FTW Championship, he's going against Hook. Okay, so they're making the introduction, and they said, I don't know where they said he was from. But as he's coming down the aisle, ladies and gentlemen, from Hollywood, I'm just going to say from Hollywood, California, weighing in at 190 pounds, here is Jack Perry. I'm thinking, did he just say 190 pounds?
Well, now I believe that Nick Wayne, I believe, weighs 160 pounds.
And when they brought him in, Nick Wayne, they put him against the guy 230 pounds, right? 240 pounds. Why wouldn't you put the guys that are small against each other instead of putting them against the giants? It makes no sense.
Hey, when they said Daddy was Buddy Wayne, I was thinking of Buddy Wayne, the old Buddy Wayne, but no, this was some other Buddy Wayne.
Well, I know how that family goes. They like them young. So I did not dispute the fact that it wasn't Buddy Wayne.
Well, no, it was not the Buddy Wayne we know of. That he got him no respect as well. Buddy Wayne didn't as well. So, hey, Hasso wanted us to know that he said, "Good evening, folks. I'm at work, so can't stay, but wanted to at least check in and say howdy. And remember, Jimmy Garvin did nothing wrong, and it was not his fault."
That is correct. It never was. It's not his fault, and I agree with that. It was not his fault.
I use that all the time. It's not my fault. Hello from Guff, Ontario. I haven't been able to watch you guys for a while. A rare night off of baseball. Hey, baseball about time. I'm about over with, ain't it?
Telling you right now, I don't know if anyone's recognized this, but the media and the meteorologists across the country is shocked that in the summertime it's hot.
Mike Schaefer said,
I've heard it once. Ladies and gentlemen, the heat is terrible. I wonder why. It's summertime. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. By the way, I just want to know, Grayson Waller, one of my favorites, as you know, and I think Cornette called him the man with the bland body, and he's absolutely right about that. He was so proud about Australian wrestlers. And then after I read the story, I said, Grayson who?
Rick Brooks said, I only tune in these days to see what the females are wearing. Chris Vick said, I blame today's wrestling fans that mark out for the spots after spots. I don't even know if they really mark out for them, Chris. I think the AEW fans might, but you know, the fan base is so small today. I mean, 30 million people watched wrestling back in the 1960s, 70s, and in the early 80s. Over 30 million people would tune in to watch wrestling on television. And now, I mean, they do good to pull 2.3 million people, you know, and that's kind of sad. So I don't know that a lot of people do mark out for it. Well, it's just a very small, if you divide that into the cities, and this country, man, that's very, I don't even see how they draw anywhere.
Well, it is amazing. There was a story I read where people were saying how Jey Uso's performances were so believable. This was shocking to one. Corey Graves, of course, that was who said that. But he was shocked. He was absolutely shocked that what Jey Uso was doing was so believable. Like what he's been doing up to this point. Has it been? That isn't that a man that's right there calling the action. And now here's the main thing. He is saying Jack needs to send you need to send Jack another invite if you don't mind.
Okay.
But to say that his performance is believable. First of all, why would you get on an internet show or whatever and say that? What in the world what is he talking about? Oh, it's so believable. That's just so stupid. Absolutely so stupid. But then again, you know, Corey Graves is the acting coach, so he might be directing Jey Uso at this point because of his great acting. By the way, I know that and I hate to report these kinds of things, tragedies and people who are upset and really, really bad. And I have to say to Rey Mysterio, and I know it's bad for you, Rey. Listen, I know it's bad. But you so wanted to be one of the dwarfs in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs until you found out they were eliminating all the dwarfs. And I'm sorry about that, man. I mean, this was an opportunity for you to show your acting ability. I'm not sure which of those Smurfs, which one of those dwarfs you would be, but I think you're too tall for Dopey. But it could have been one or the other. You could have been Doc, possibly Sleepy. That's what you do to the rest of us, put us all to sleep. But anyway, I know that he's upset about it, that he was excluded from being one of the dwarfs in Snow White and Seven, the remake, that is.
I did send that back to Jack.
Okay. Hopefully we'll be on with this.
I just read that after 40 hours, they become, I think it's probably past 40 hours. So
what is it? Oh, well, the one that I had, I was still able to come in, but it said it was no longer available. But what I could do is click and log in as I did before and come right in. That's the way I was doing it before. By the way, WWE had a fantastic weekend in Mexico, and it looked good. They were in Mexico City, tremendous crowd for that. Just tremendous crowd. Now I have to. I'm not eating crow or anything. No, I'm not going to eat crow or anything, but I besmirched Austin Theory on this program the last time we were here, saying that his stuff looked weak. His stuff looked weak, and he didn't seem to be into it. And I thought that was I was just kind of let down because I felt like that he was just kind of calling it in until I watched Wesley against Dominic Mysterio. And then I noticed Wesley worked just exactly like Austin Theory. So this must be the way they're training him to work. Light. He was doing, Wesley was with Dominic when this was the North American Championship match where Dominic won. And he was doing these kind of slaps to each side. And it looked like garbage. He wasn't throwing, and it didn't look like he was putting his entire weight or turning his entire weight into him. It was just kind of like, here, I'm just kind of giving you little love taps on your side there. And he was kind of dancing, kind of like that. And maybe it was a dance routine. I didn't recognize it if it was. but in the end, of course, Dominic won. And here's the other thing: when Rhea hit Wesley with her belt, the women's championship, they edited. I thought that was maybe a blip in my internet, and I rewind back and they cut it out. It must have looked really bad, and so they cut it out. This came from the actual WWE website as well. But I just thought when I saw that, I said that's exactly the way Austin Theory is working now. Very, very light, soft. And that's the way he's working. In fact, I noticed Sheamus was doing the same thing with the forearms when he does it on the top rope.
Have they been told to do so?
I have no idea. I don't know. You would think not, because it makes it look bad. It just makes everything look bad. I mean, there is a complete difference between the work of Wesley and Dominic Mysterio, and then you watch Bill Dundee and Jerry Lawler and their fights. There's a difference between night and day between them. And like I said, it was very soft. It was almost like they were just they were making contact, but they were just laying their hands up against their body. Laying their forearms against him, or laying the slapping to the side. He was just kind of laying his hands to the side, to each side. And they were not really, throwing them in, using the whole body. And you very rarely see any forearm smashes down across the back or anything like what we used to see. They could Superstar could lay those forearms down across the back, and you could hear them all over the place. Stan Hansen the same way. But like I said, it's soft. And by the way, Baron Corbin, I know one of your favorites, Brent, was very excited about the WWE's choice to send him back to NXT. And he thought that Shawn Michael has an unbelievable mind. It also shows that they may have needed to change his name to Baron Corbin to Brown-Nosing Corbin, because that's about what it sounded like to me.
Michael Barr, I'm here. I can say a few things about it. No matter what. Michael Barr also said that there are some new promotions starting out in different areas around here using the old school wrestlers' images and names. It's not right. What, are they going to be there?
I would say that they're probably saying, okay, we're going to have Scott Armstrong III.
I did see where Scott Armstrong was going to be somewhere, Crestview, Florida, I believe it was. For a Bob Armstrong second memorial show for Bob Armstrong. Yeah. Charles Alford, laughing out loud. Let's see, if these new wrestlers are going to make names and images for themselves, let it be his own creation. I will agree with you on that. But now, for whatever reason, now they want to. They have tried to reinvent Steve Austin several times.
Well, they're obviously doing it with LaKnight. I mean, when you listen to that interview, you put Steve Austin, it's almost identical. Like I said, instead of going if you want to see me kick his, then say hell yeah. Then he's just saying, if you want to do something, just say yeah. Just say yeah. I noticed exactly the same thing. And like I said, lots of times I don't really listen to the interviews, or I don't listen to them talk, because I'm fast forwarding through it all. But when I so happen to, again, go to the WWE site, I'm watching LaKnight come to the ring, and he's in that 4-way Fatal 4 match to face the United States champion. And he's doing exactly this. To me, the Steve Austin combination, Steve Austin, a little bit of Rock thrown in there as well. So, speaking of ticket sales in the SummerSlam, 45,971 so far for SummerSlam. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Although there's some people, fans of Karrion Kross, that are upset as well. The same ones that are probably the fans of Cody Rhodes.
I have, from what I can see, given 100. No, I'll make that 101 comments.
We appreciate you, Michael.
Yes,
we appreciate you. And I think it was hot in Mexico. Like I said, they said it was a record-breaking weekend for them in Mexico. And I saw some of the footage from there. Looked awesome. Dominic, I think the main event was Roman Reigns against Rey Mysterio. Awesome.
Whoops. One is specifically trying to be Wahoo McDaniel What in the world? Yahoo made his own name. That's crazy. Man. That's just crazy. Charles Alford said, "Age is just a number, and I'm making a comeback no matter what." That's what Charles Alford said. He's going to make a comeback. There you go. I think. Hey, is that Jack Rodney?
Yeah, he's still having problems. It's taking him to his own site to log in. I would assume that's possible. He needs to clear his cache.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. He's going to have to do some kind of new. Sometimes you just have to restart your computer over and over again. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, Charles, by what Michael's saying, you're going to have to pick one of the older wrestlers' names, and I'm going to just tell you right now, if you want to get in trouble, I wouldn't use the word dirty. Charles, I'm telling you, it'll upset Dutch. Dutch will come after you. He'll threaten you. You know, at least if you're going to use it, you need to call Dutch and ask permission to use dirty. Maybe that might be good. Dirty Dutch Alford. That might be good.
Hey, you really make him mad then because you'll use dirty and Dutch.
Well, if he gets his permission, he'll be okay with it. But if he doesn't, call and ask him. He could say no, but then use it anyway.
Let's see, Michael Barr. Good to see Rodney Brent back here on Pro Wrestling Inside Out. Thank you so much. We've got a lot of things going to come up. We got it. This is our new stream service that we're going to be using. A lot of bells and whistles that this thing has given us. We don't know how to use them at this point. It'll take us a while to kind of figure out how to use this, but we are going to be on 6 to up to 20 different platforms at one time. We're at 6 right now, and we're going to add a lot of other. TikTok is going to be added into it. A bunch of other things going to be added into it in the next few weeks. We want to reach as many people as we can. Hey, if we're not going to be monetized on Facebook, we might as well share Pro Wrestling Inside and Out all over the world and on every platform we can find.
Well, Charles thinks he likes it. He's going to try it. I think he's going to try it.
There you go. Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question. I thought Scott was working for WWE. Is he not working for WWE? I thought he was an agent for WWE. So Scott was in Ozark recently with XWX, 3 promotions running around Dothan now, 1 weekly at the mall. Hey, are they drawing anything? They drawing any crowds? Because I'd be afraid to. Man, I'd be afraid to run wrestling now. It's hard to let people know.
It's funny down there. All 3 different promotions has got it. I tell you right now. They've got Super Bullet. They've got the Black Bullet. They got the Blue Bullet. They got all kinds of bullets on those shows down there.
Probably do.
Bullet Junior. They got Bullet Junior.
And I can't say them. We had a mask of Superstar one time, and I remember Bill Eadie coming to Dalton, Georgia. And he said, "Hey, why y'all putting this guy in as a superstar?" And he said, that's my gimmick. I said, I thought the gimmick now was Demolition X. I didn't know it was a masked superstar. And he said, well, no, that's still my gimmick. It's still my deal. I said, well, there was other superstars way before you ever was masked superstar.
But what about superstar Billy Graham? He didn't call. Maybe. You think Bill Eadie called him and asked him if he was able to use that?
I did tell him. I said, you do understand Leon Baxter was a masked superstar way before you ever was a masked superstar. I said, also, who was the other guy? It was Leon Baxter and Dick Dunn. They were the masked superstars way before he was a superstar. I said, you do realize you were not down. I mean, this might work, Bill. It might work on some other people. But you can't tell me that because there was many superstars way before you. Now, I'm not saying you were the best masked superstar. I'll give you that. And the one that I remember more than anybody. But that's fine. Hey, you still got the mask. No, he had a mask. I just thought he had paint then. That's what I told him. I said, I just thought you had paint now. I didn't know you still had a mask. Hey, this works out great. The original masked superstar come back and go against the. And I think Ted Allen was the guy we were using the Masked Superstar. We did it for a reason because we were going to try to do something, but he came in pretty mad that night.
Yeah, he was very difficult. Very difficult. I think he was told to go home, did he not?
Yes, he was. Yes.
Okay.
Aaron Garland, how you doing? Hope, just down the road from us. How you doing, Hope? You're still watching. Gloria Barlow is also. Lance Gardner is watching us as well. Thank y'all so much. Mark James wrote some great books. Hey, is that Mark James? Was that who wrote that book? That Memphis book? So who wrote that? Or was that somebody else? I know Mark James wrote some books. I don't remember which ones he wrote.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know. There was a one, and that's the one thing I have never seen. Nobody's ever has been a Mr. Olympia ever.
It could be because they that there might be the Mr. Olympia could be trademarked now because they've had the Mr. Olympia bodybuilding contest forever and ever.
Oh, I see.
So it could be the reason that there's no other Mr. Olympias.
All right, Rodney. I hope this has come over pretty good for everybody. If you're watching on Rumble, thank you so much. We certainly do appreciate it. If you're watching this on Twitter, thank you so much as well. Twitch. And if you are watching this, you don't know about Pro Wrestling Inside Now, the best thing to do is go to our Facebook page and just look, just go to Facebook, put Pro Wrestling Inside Out, and you'll see what we do is we mainly talk about the history of professional wrestling. We talk about Georgia Championship Wrestling. We talk about Nick Goulas and Roy Welch and that type, Championship Wrestling from Florida, World Class Championship Wrestling, Mid-South Wrestling. What's some of the other ones, Rodney? That's escaping me right
We've
there.
talked about the WWA, the Dick the Bruiser's organization. We have talked about a little bit about what had been going on in up in Canada with the Rougeaus. We talked about them and the Garvins some time ago. Tremendous match, by the way. I've never seen it. It's really good stuff. I'm talking about Ronnie and Jimmy Garvin with Precious against Raymond and Jock. Just tremendous stuff. Absolute tremendous stuff.
Michael, we will be back on Tuesday. The only reason we did this tonight, we want to do a test. We will actually use on Tuesday. We will actually use our original. I think it's Restream. We'll use it for the last time, and then we'll probably occasionally.
Yeah. Thank you, Porky.
Yeah, we will occasionally come on. Probably between not this Tuesday and the next Tuesday, and come on and do a couple of more of these to make sure we do know how to use it before we go on our regular Tuesday time slot. Because usually Tuesday night, 7:30, Tennessee time, Eastern time, Central time, or it'll be 6:30. That's when we usually come on Tuesdays, but we wanted to come on here and. Russell Conway said they're remodeling the Houston County Farm Center.
Wow.
Good deal. Are they going to have matches in there, Russell? They're going to have, or is it they remodeling and putting offices or something in it? You never know. I noticed that Mickey's not there anymore. I tried to get in touch with him just to say hello to him the other day, and nothing. I guess he's gone from there, which I think he was going to retire years ago. I think it's been 6 years since we did the circus. So it doesn't seem that long, but it's been over 6 years. Michael Barr said this is the place to learn and talk about it for sure. And we are going to be talking more about Georgia Championship Wrestling, Memphis, wrestling in Memphis, Championship Wrestling from Florida, World Class Championship Wrestling, and mainly the ones that mainly the ones from the South, but also the American Wrestling Association, AWA, and we'll also be talking about the WWF and the WWF prior to WWE. I did not watch a lot of wrestling past 1998, I guess it was. After the Steve Austin era, I guess it would be around 2000s. I quit watching wrestling, so I really haven't watched it too much since 2000. I think maybe I've watched it 40 times between 2000 and 2023. So I think Rodney watches it though, keeps up with it.
Yeah, just because I need to because of this program. But up to that point, until we did this show, I didn't watch it either. And Michael Barr saying yes, they are remodeling the farm center.
Yeah, that's
So
what
that's awesome.
Russell said. He said, "I sure hope so." So that's good. That's good. Hey, maybe that could be,
Well,
the
you know,
first place we ever do like a big reunion show or something.
well, Tim was saying, Pedro for some of them, was saying that they had always wanted to build a 20,000 seat arena for in Dothan, and maybe instead of doing that, they decided to remodel the farm center instead.
Hey, put some air conditioning in there though.
Yeah, boy, it needs some air conditioning.
Rodney, any final comments before we leave?
No, we were talking about last week where we were talking about and I think we were at, what was it, April of 1970? Is that where we were at?
Yes.
I just thought about just in the brief what we were discussing with the assassins and how they had the petition to get them stripped of the titles, and then how that Buddy and Ray Gunkel had split to go off on their own single wrestling, and then comes back, and then they put themselves back together to basically dethrone the assassins as the tag team champions. That's classic stuff right there.
Yes,
that's classic stuff. Not only to say, I would say there was some major issues going on between Nick Bockwinkel and El Mongo at the same time as well. We just haven't discussed those details. But certainly, it was quite, even with what we talked about, that was intriguing to me.
Yes.
And we didn't get to see it. Of course, we're just talking about it. We don't get to see it. But I can assure you that Ray Gunkel you think Corey Graves was impressed with Jey Uso. I'm sure he would have been just floored by Buddy Fuller and Ray Gunkel and the Assassins. I mean, can you imagine Tom Ernesto when they were together, Tom Ernesto and Joni Hamilton together? What a tremendous team they were, and that their interview skills, not promo skills, but their interview skills at the time, truly. And I'm sorry I'm really sorry that I never saw it. I really would love to have seen that, and I'm sure it was absolutely brilliant. Bockwinkel, always a class act, and I would have loved to seen that too. And El Mongo, because of course by the time we saw El Mongo, that was into the 80s. By the time we saw El Mongo, so
as we continue talking on Tuesday, and we will talk Tuesday, April 1970, we will start seeing some changes and some things that the assassins are involved with, and also we start seeing Leo Garibaldi get more inside the ring. I guess as he's getting ready to leave as the booker for Georgia Championship Wrestling, he's going to use that to put himself on the main event a few times. Which, hey, I don't blame him. Leo Garibaldi, though, we're going to have to tell the story about him before he leaves Georgia. In July or August, it's August of 1970. We got to tell the story about Leo Garibaldi because he was a major star in professional wrestling. I did not realize this, but he's a third generation wrestler, and people loved him, especially up north. He was a huge star up north, where even the movie stars wanted to hang around Leo Garibaldi. They called him the good-looking wrestler of the years at that time. And so Leo Garibaldi, a very smart man in his way of booking. But we'll talk about that on Tuesday, April 1970. It's some interesting stuff coming up. And as we get into Georgia Championship Wrestling and we get into 1976, we can talk a lot about what's going on. 1974, 75, 76. We can give a lot of the insights of what went on with Georgia Championship Wrestling. Plus, we'll look at Memphis. Interesting. Memphis is very interesting. We'll be doing that in the next few weeks as well. Thank you so much.
Breaking news. Jack Perry now weighs 189 pounds.
After the match again. Oh man.
He wanted to slim up for the show.
Well, they say the television adds pounds, so maybe that's what he was maybe he was going after. All right, thank you so much. We'll see each and every one of you Tuesday night as Pro Wrestling Inside Out goes to the regular time, 7:30 p.m. Thank you, and we'll see everybody on Tuesday, 7:30.